Yes, arrest me. That's not me. Defiance of J.K. Rowling as she dares police over new Scottish hate crime law, which I think should legally be, in inverted commas, hate crime law. Rishi Sunak last night backed J.K. Rowling after she dared police to arrest her under controversial new hate crime laws. And I love that she's doing this. I genuinely do.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's seeking extremely top-level legal advice, so she's probably working within the bounds of that.
Oh, I would have thought she'd go to the Citizens Advice Bureau, wouldn't you?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
She's a few quid.
She is a lady of the people, but I don't think she needs to save a few quid. I hope they arrest her, and I secretly think I think she secretly does hope that they do too, because if she does, it will prove her point to the nth degree, and it will be the beginning of the end of this madness that we find ourselves in at the moment. Although, if the madness ends, perhaps we won't have any work.
I said as much when we were first discussing it a couple of weeks ago, that I thought J.K. Rowling would do exactly this, so it's good to know she's tuning in. But what do you think?
I'm slightly put off, Simon, because you look like the baddie from Sonic the Hedgehog. It's just struck me.
I think it takes years off me, frankly.
They are very good.
Dr. Robotnik. I didn't know you were going to stick with it. It's throwing me. But
they're on now. They've been glued over the nose.
I see. But back to the story. Rowling, will she do this? You're talking about there'll be a rebellion if she does it, but will there just be more and more oppression? Is that the world we're in now? Well, and also, will it happen under Labour in this country? That's my question as well. Will we get similar laws?
Well, that is a good question. Under Labour in this country is a slightly different question, but certainly when this law was passed in Scotland, Labour were behind it. There was no opposition from Labour at that time.
It's quite relevant because the UK government sources said the law won't change while the Conservatives are in government, but one thinks, will it under Labour? It could easily. I like what Rowling said when she said, I look forward to being arrested when I return to the birthplace of the Scottish Enlightenment. That was good trolling. But it is obscene that we're in this position. And as we've seen, these laws won't apply to people like Humza Yousaf, who did that horrific speech in a parliament, whatever it was, about white, everyone's white.
Yeah.
He said in a post today, it was a Sky News video, that if you're not abusive or threatening or engaging in some other kind of behaviour like that, or intended to cause harm, you'll have no problem. But surely his speech was threatening and abusive and intended to cause harm.
And as the hate monster has been, singling out young white men as being most likely to harbour that emotion.
And he also pronounces the H when he says white, which I think is a crime in its own. I'd be quite happy to support sort of jail time.
Well, in America, that's regarded as a dog whistle in itself, isn't it? But usually on the other side. But putting that to one side, yes, I do think Humza Yousaf would probably, under this legislation, and probably was, well, he was certainly being extraordinarily, disrespectful to a country which is well over 90% white, and those were not statistical anomalies, as he was seeming to suggest, that had been installed by some sort of, deep state white propaganda unit. But putting that to one side, J.K. Rowling herself has been a figurehead for gender-critical movement for some time now. She is going to force this issue to either until they do arrest her or until they have to admit that they simply don't, actually intend to prosecute.
Yeah, I'm more pessimistic because, Rowling would be okay, other people won't be, and because she's too high profile. And in general, there's going to be more and more of this kind of thing. And obviously, we point out these double standards, but we do that in vain. We do it just for banter because, of course, they don't care. It's intended to crush their opponents and censor their opponents and just create a general feeling of censorship and oppression. Yeah. That's what it's for, because it's deliberately not aimed at white people and straight people and so on. Of course, it's about oppressing the majority. That's what
of course it is, and you can anonymously complain as well. So the police become the judge, jury and executioner because everybody's assumed to be a victim. Anyone who makes a complaint, no matter how anonymous they are considered a victim. This isn't a complain't.
As we said, this remake of Judge Dredd is proving extraordinarily bureaucratic.
It is terrifying, and I do hope that Nick's not right in the sense that we end up with this being perpetuated into even worse.
To be honest, I'm ready to go into hiding or up into the hills.
Why not?
To be honest, at this stage of my life, but you young men, you've got everything to look forward to.